starting to lose my daylight, but I'm going to do this today anyway. Like I was saying earlier, you want a nice, good, sturdy box-shaped carry-on luggage for your serious drawing bag. Of course, you could throw a book and a pencil into your purse at any time, but this is really for visual journaling, and I find it actually carries everything I need. So, in the back of this particular style bag is a flatter compartment where I keep the journals themselves. I might be working on an altered book. I might be working on some of the cards you've seen me do, or smaller, thinner, handmade journals. I also keep recycled trash bags, shopping bags, because you never know where you are, and you really should pack out your own garbage, just like when you're camping. To add support to the pocket where I actually keep the books, I keep cutting boards. There's these lined ones. I'm not usually that precise. I don't need lines when I'm out on the road, but some people do. So these kind of pads do come small enough for your traveling. I'm more of a dollar store version of the cutting board. I get the 2-pack at IKEA for like $1.99, and I completely trash them until they're worthless, and then I throw them into the plastic recycling. And this is a larger board normally, and I simply, hold it up next to the bag, trace down its size. So get them from the dollar store, cut them down to fit your bag, and you're good to go. Now, the other thing that's nice to have is a bag that really opens up, and not all of them do. Some just open this far, and then you're digging and rifling, and eventually you memorize where you keep your own stuff, and that'll work. But I prefer a bag that really opens up in a big way. This one zips all the way down and around the bottom so that it opens up flat. Back here on this side again, this is the same side that has the books and the cutting boards in this pocket, so it has the most support. I keep some of the flatter things in here. But every visual journaler needs stamps, all sizes. Some happen to be in the mood for big ones, so that's why they're in here right now. But there's also smaller ones that I'll throw in here and use. These big ones, by the way, I package them this way. They're the clear stamps. I'll put them on top of a photocopy machine in order to get a cover here that I can see what's inside. And this is a DVD case. You can get them, stacks of them, pretty inexpensively. And they make great storage containers for your flat, unmounted stamps. In this pocket, I usually keep my scissors. I have new brushes today, so that's kind of cool. In the past, what I've done, I've had some brushes that I really liked for painting in books and journaling, but they were really long, and I used garden shears. I cut them and broke them and sanded down the bottom of them just enough so that they would fit into the bag. Pencils, drawing implements, these are the Aquarel, so these will actually blend when I hit them with the paint. I can mix colors using these. So yes, Portfolio, very inexpensive. You can get them at Staples, a variety of craft stores. It's not a very serious art supply. They're not very expensive, and at the same time they have deep, rich pigment colors, nice creamy texture. They're great to work with. I usually keep at least a couple of sponge brushes in here. I don't really like painting with them at all, but they're great for putting on glues or gel medium, which I'll show you in a minute, and then you can just throw them away, and you don't have to worry about having a minimal supply of water for cleaning up when you're working with your glues. In this bag, I keep sort of the less flat things, or things that don't matter if they bend or scrunch up. Pencil sharpeners, latex gloves, a little set of these. I almost always keep a set in here. Sometimes I have a meeting to go to, or a dinner or something, and although I do spend most of my life with paint all over my hands, every now and then I am on my way somewhere where I don't want to be covered with paint. StazOn, highly recommend StazOn, brand specific. A lot of the other things I use, it doesn't matter what brand. This one's very specific in terms of adhering to plastics, ceramics, glass, all sorts of things. Are slick, and most other stamp pads will not work in mixed media. They're great on paper perhaps, but they do not work in mixed media. Wet ones. You've probably heard my little lecture on wet ones, or the cleaning wipes that have the antibacterial cleaning wipes that have alcohol as part of the ingredients. These are used not only for manipulating your acrylic paints and getting layering that you want, textures that you want, but they're great for cleanup when you're somewhere and you don't have a whole laundry tub or a studio sink to be washing yourself up in. Rather than try and fit a whole package of these in there, I just stick some in a baggie. And makeup sponges are great for applying paint or lifting paint. These sort of credit card thingies are great for smearing paint, carving, cutting into paint. Get real nasty, and you're not in a place where you have a lot of cleanup supplies, just throw them away. Throw them in your little garbage bag you're carrying with you. I carry a lot of these pens, and the Sharpie water-based poster paint pens have been discontinued, I am told, so I've been hoarding them. But so far these have been really the best, if not some of the only pens that work on top of slick acrylic paints. They mark on, again, like the StazOn pad, on ceramic and glass and plastic. And these, once you write down, you can layer again over on top of them with paint, and they don't smear. The Pitt pen also works marvelously on top of acrylic, so if you're really doing a lot of text and journaling, it's a must-have item in black. Black is the only one that's that permanent. Some of the other colors lift or don't quite adhere the same way this one does. But it doesn't layer well. These ones you can go back over the top of them with paints, but this one needs to be your last layer, your last treatment. So this section has the pockets that are hard to find anymore in these carry-on bags. I've been looking, so boy, email me, somebody contact me. If you find a new bag like this, a carry-on bag that actually has all these pockets in it, I sure would like to know. So this is a recycled peanut butter jar. Has a nice seal on it. I recommend that you definitely test your seal before you commit it to your bag. And I'll just go into if I'm at a coffee house or something, go into the bathroom, fill it up, bring it back out to my table where I'm working. If I have to leave with dirty water, I can do that. And rags, t-shirt rags are usually the best. Other bags that you might need to put your wet, nasty things into when you're done. Uhu glue sticks. I'm inclined to use the soft gel medium now, almost exclusively for gluing, or I will also use Mod Podge. Golden fluid acrylics, far, far, far and away my favorite. And you can get a lot going with just a little tiny palette of your own, your favorite colors. You don't have to carry, all the paints you have in your bag. I normally haven't bought tubes, but recently I've come to realize that tubes are a good way to do your traveling paints. Instead, what I'm more used to is I get these little bottles at REI, little Nalgene bottles with super, super great seals on them, and they don't even bend or squish. They're just really sturdy, and I label them with whatever paints I'm using because I tend to buy my paints in very large size containers, and of course you're not going to travel with this. Not only that, sometimes I'll decant them even for studio use, because if you keep opening a jar this big to use just a little bit of paint, you start to get too much air and it starts to dry and get a little gummy. Oh, and my dime store reading glasses, usually in a really ridiculous color so that I can find them easily, are always in my bag in a pinch. So I think that pretty much covers the contents of my essential visual journaling bag. Oh, and don't forget a luggage tag. If you forget this somewhere, you'll be really glad when somebody takes pity on you and calls you and says they have your art supplies and your journal and your belongings.